Well, disc golf fans, we have made it to the final round of the 2025 PDGA United States Amateur Disc Golf Championship presented by Discraft. This is a PDGA Major. And a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. As always, I'm Derek and PJ in the booth with me, and this commentary is weighed by Marshall Street. Big shout out to them, as well as an additional sponsor of ours, Homewood Suites by Hilton here in Brighton, Michigan. Comfortable stay to make sure we get this coverage out to you the next day. How you feeling, PJ?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited for our card today. James and Adam shot a really hot round yesterday. You know, Brock, 2 solid 6-unders, and we also got Alan rejoining us from the first day.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see. We're seeing a lot of consistency out of these AMs, so I like to see how their game develops, and James being new to the coverage, excited to watch. As we jump into hole 1, par 3, 516 downhill, OB left, right, and center. Moving left to right. Not much more to say other than that.
Yep. We got Alan stepping up to the tee first, going with the forehand.
And so for those that might be confused, they happen to tee off this card in reverse order. So the last will be our leader.
I think that's a good height. It's definitely getting right. And yeah, like 45 feet. I think that's all he really wants. Now Adam here has a big forehand. And he gets that on a lot of hyzer. Just kind of finds the ground pretty quickly, but he has a lot of power on that forehand, and expect to see more of it from him today.
Yeah, that's for sure. First backhand of the card, turns over nicely. Does not get down quick enough, finds the OB on that right side.
Yeah, didn't get a cut roll back in bounds either.
It's in stabbing range, I would say.
Yeah,
It's not too close, but it's something that you can definitely make a bid for.
he's got a look, certainly.
And Brock back to the coverage.
Much less aggressive line than James.
Later turn, leaving it much further right. So he's got the most distance to the pin now.
Yeah, he just, threw it lower off the tee. Was, more interested in staying in bounds than trying to get a close look.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, we saw a lot of C12 metal hits. C2 metal hits, sorry. From Allen on round 1, so hopefully he can get that together and show us some magic here on the final day.
And James has this left for bogey. Everyone else is tapping in their pars. Really, even though he bogeyed this hole, it wasn't that bad of a drive. I'm pretty sure everyone on the card thought that he was going to have a birdie putt. Just the way the angle was perfectly wrong to end up OB without cut rolling. It was a little unfortunate.
Yeah, total bummer. All right, fighting back uphill on the second, 680 par 4. Not really any OB to worry about, but lots of woods on either side, making it a pretty narrow corridor as you fight upward. And then the plateau here on the green does kind of keep it a little safe. We saw Brock with the big hyzer round 2. Looks like he's doing the same, but gives it a little too much. Much further left than he was before. Still on the edge, so should have plenty of good footing. And that's just a little low out of Adam's hand. Kind of digs right into the hillside there, but again, totally fine for the next. The traditional play is to really ride that left side as a righty with something really flippy and kind of let it grind that side and then work its way into the center, but kind of just like this.
Yeah.
And I will say that is a testament to really trusting your disc, because the moves that he was putting on that, if that didn't turn the way that he wanted, would have been pretty rough.
Yeah. You see Brock just keeping it in the middle with another hyzer. And we saw yesterday he has all the power to birdie this hole, but is uninterested in trying. He definitely plays some holes for par that he doesn't need to, but you know, it's what's consistent for him, and it's been working. Allen also with a nice shot, just throwing it in the middle. Ooh.
Yeah, a little grip lock there from James.
Yeah, it turned over too, so it was just two wrongs didn't make a right there. But
it looked like he had a pretty decent line, got himself up there, overshot it a little bit. I think that's easy to do when you're fighting uphill, especially with like a mishap that you had. So you think that you got a lot to make up for. So maybe you put a little bit too much oomph. Oh. So it's blind from where we were shooting. Obviously, you can tell. And it did sound like it hit chains. But what a great bid from Allen.
Yeah, I mean,
and everyone else is no slouch either. I mean, we're seeing a pretty good cluster here.
Yeah, and we got just outside the circle here for James. Puts it right in there. That's a nice par save after bogeying the first hole. Got everyone else cleaning up their pars. Everyone's happy with the 4 on this hole.
We saw a lot of ways to get there, too.
Yeah. Forehand from Adam. That won't be the last par 4 that we see him throwing forehand on.
All right, jumping into hole 3, back down the hill, 915 feet, par 4. You got Obi on the right, pretty close. Obi far left. Obi as we fly over it now. And Obi long past the basket as well, so very well-defined fairway. Go ahead.
This is another one where you just want to stay in the middle. Like, it's a big downhill shot. You want to throw something big. And Brock just stays in bounds there. And it's like, as long as you get the nose down, you keep it in the middle, the hill is going to do the work for you in terms of distance. In all likelihood, you'll have some way to get a birdie on your approach. And really, the farther left you are, the easier it is to see the basket.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But, of course, it's a lot safer to land where Allen's landing.
And with that late turn from that flight, it really does put him in a great position. It starts turning late, too.
Yeah. James really has this, like, hyzer flip game. It seems on every shot. Pretty understable bag.
Did I hear right that he's from Arkansas?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't know there was much woods golf to be played. So I wonder how that hyzer flip got developed. And if that's just me being ignorant, folks, let me know in the comments of some wooded tracks you have in Arkansas. I'd love to see them.
So we saw Adam just absolutely park it there, getting his round going. Brock ended up a little short. Let's see what Alan's got.
That'll do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, way short.
Honestly,
Honest bid.
yeah, pretty good bid from back there.
These little half steppers he's got from being just outside. You think he's putting it just outside for that reason?
I mean, probably not, but who can
That's some
say?
elite level play if that's your intention.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't know if I can put it right on the basket. Let's just, give it a little extra, see what happens. Maybe it'll go in.
I feel like skipping to my lewd today.
The PDGA rating system is a valuable part of having an active membership. When you play in sanctioned leagues and tournaments, you get a rating that compares your performance to the rest of the field. This helps you understand your skill level and helps you see your improvement in the game. You also get a PDGA number when you first sign up. Your PDGA number timestamps when you sign up, locking in your place in disc golf history. So sign up today, and we'll see you out on the course.
All right, jump back in. Hole 4, 580, par 4. Not a ton of OB, but a lot of trees here in the middle. Stock righty hyzer for most as you push that first tree that you see kind of straight off of the tee. If you beat that, you're in a pretty good position to kind of work yourself up the hill. But approaches, beware because of the severe slope that angles you into hole 5's fairway. And all things considered, that staying on the edge is pretty good.
Yeah, and really that flex forehand is, maybe the ideal play if you just get through everything. If it had stayed flexed a little longer, he could have been looking straight up the gap.
Allen went really wide there, so a little tough to see on the camera, but worked himself up there just fine as James finds himself in the middle, looking pretty much right at the basket from there.
Yeah, I don't think that branch ended up being in his way, so he's pretty wide open.
So we're 4 for 4 on clearing that tree to miss. Looks like Brock worked himself a little further left. We'll see how that keeps things open for him. That had really good moves, unfortunately, hitting really the only one to beat there in the middle of that green area.
Yeah, on that left side.
Good height control, I think. Kind of playing into that hillside, knowing that it'll fight up, but not too far.
Yeah.
Playing a little short is probably the smarter play.
As long as you hit above that last stair.
Right.
Yeah. And, Brock hitting that tree, staying up there. Really nice not to roll down the hill. Adam with a nice backhand.
Just not quite. Putting uphill does add a little more distance to it.
And there's the drop off behind. You're not exactly zipping it at this basket. Woo. Right over the rim for Adam. 2 under through 4. It's a nice start for him. And a nice putt for James as well. 3 birdies on this one.
We got 2 people preheating the oven. Let's see if they can carry it over into the 5th. As we work away slightly downhill, 480, par 3, tight corridor. Only OB is behind the basket. The miss would be to the right as the left gets quite pinched off and very tight.
Yeah, if you get far enough, like maybe 50 feet from the basket, then the left side is fine. It's not ideal. Right about there. That's fine. He should have a putt from there. Not too bad of a tree kick, all things considered.
And considering where Brock ended up on round 2, that is a vast improvement.
Yeah. And it kind of, I would believe it if he said he was playing it low and short on purpose, just, trying to take
Yeah.
out kicks or, overcommitting.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a similar shape. Just, one a little early release, and this one worked out. Unfortunately, the approach just kind of stopped up short. Should be fine.
That's,
What?
what is that, 3 really long putts and 5 holes? That's
Gets himself the turkey dinner as well.
Oh.
No. Little undercommitted there from Adam.
Yeah, hitting that right side there with like that sort of flat, maybe slight Anheuser angle. They'll push out like that.
Yeah, with a little help from the cage, too. All right, hole 6, par 4, 519, uphill off the tee, dogleg to the right. Varying slopes as you get over this hillside and valley. Pretty dangerous green, a lot of hard pack there. So your approach should have a lot of touch to it.
This is looking good from James. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just want to be in the middle of that flat plateau area. Give yourself the best shot. We do see the backhand turnover a lot from the righties.
Yeah, like the way that it shapes up is just a little nicer for the backhand turnover versus the forehand.
But then this beastly shot right here going roller again. And quite honestly, it's very impressive.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, if you have the right disc for it, it's not any different from throwing the Anheuser, in terms of release.
Yeah, just maybe a little extra there at the end.
Yeah, a little more power.
And this is like the luckiest approach I've seen. It happened to bob and weave through just about everything. He's going to find himself on the hillside.
Yeah, just a little pitch up to the basket. And James just overturns this a little bit, kicks left, and, the way he's been putting, he's got a birdie putt. A tough one, though. Allen it has a less tough birdie putt. That's a great approach from him. Brock not throwing that many forehands. Ooh, kind of takes a weird little skip and roll there.
Yeah, it looks like it hit like a stick or a root or something.
Yeah, an extra 3 feet of distance. Whoa.
Tagging metal, that would have been a great, that would have been for 3.
Yeah. That would have been a great 3. This is a good bid.
I guess you can't make them all.
Ooh, nice. Sneaks that one in there left side.
Yeah, Allen's heating up now.
Oh.
Can't make the putt if they're low.
Yeah, and that's really too bad from that drive. It was just a pitch up. And that's one of those things where if he were 3 feet closer, because he hit that branch on the ground, probably would have made that putt.
Yeah, sure. All right, on to the 7th, 667, par 4, slightly elevated tee area, and then you're driving into this hillside. So really anywhere kind of at the top of that hill is where you want to be. OB surrounds the green. It's got a lot of drift. There's no OB on the far left?
I don't think there's any OB.
No OB? Okay.
No.
Whoops.
Maybe
It's
for...
been a long weekend, folks. I'm sorry.
And this is perfect. You could not ask for a better drive than that. Oh, doesn't quite get the turn on it. And I think that skips. It looks like it lands on the edge there, but I think he's actually down in the rough. Adam throwing it over there. That's not too bad.
No, he's not in. He's not in the shit at all. He's just kind of.
Yeah, it's awkward for a forehand.
That might be a little bit, though.
Yeah, he does have a backhand. It's, just highly prefers the forehand there, even on that kind of awkward angle. And then Allen just not quite getting the release that he wanted.
And this was very uncharacteristic, I think, from Brock.
Yeah, he threw straight across the fairway into the other side of the rough, while James puts it a little long, but, throws it right at the basket. I mean, if you throw it straight, you're going to have a good time out here.
Mm-hmm. And far.
Yeah. On this hole, it's really about position. The drive, you do want to get far. But we saw some decent hole. Like, we saw some players play this hole pretty decently, ending up a little short of ideal, as long as they can hit the gap to the basket. Oh.
Wow, that is an aggressive spit out, hitting the pole with some force. Chain's not really doing their job this time around. As we see Allen card the bogey.
It's not like he putts super hard. Like, he putts from his right hip, and he gets some pop on it. But if you're putting from your right hip, like, it shouldn't be spitting out like that. That's too bad.
All right, hole 8. Little gap to hit off the tee. One big branch to worry about. Pretty much just kind of like an approach style shot off the tee to get yourself into position for your big second shot. And with the green kind of playing that hillside, you do kind of have the backstop. You do have rollaway potential if you hit and then roll back down. However, I think that second shot, you are able to go big with a lot less risk. This has moves on it.
Yeah, speaking of going big.
And
Whoa.
we do not see this very often. I mean, he damn near has a peek at the pin from that position.
Yeah, we got a backhand out of Adam here.
I'd say it's a serious improvement from Brock's second round, where he early release kicked far left.
Yeah, it's...
He had vendetta and came here for vengeance.
Yeah, incomparable, really. I mean,
It's like a different player, like, really.
He has a wide open, forehand approach if he wants it, but knowing Brock, he'll probably throw a little backhand turnover. And Adam just huge hyzer bomb with the forehand all the way to the edge of circle. This looks like a lot of anhyzer.
Wow, scoots up there pretty good.
Yeah, just kind of takes a little bounce roll at the end inside the circle.
And so this is the toughest position of the bunch. Allen found himself really pinched off, and I don't think you could recover any better than that, folks.
Yeah, that was wild. The amount of anhyzer he released that with, and then comes out of it.
Flat.
Yeah, and then
perfectly.
It doesn't fade out. So it must have been in pretty overstable disc, but just lands totally flat. It doesn't hyzer out at all. And a nice birdie there from Brock. That has to be the farthest drive that this hole saw this weekend. Unless, someone threw a crazy forehand turnover. A Nice birdie there from James as well. We got a tie at the top. And Alan was looking to, put himself in the conversation, but that bogey on 7 is going to make it a little hard for him to catch up.
All right, let's round out our front 9 with a 472-foot par 3 downhill. Basically just one tree on the left to miss and then some branches on the right. We saw a good selection of shots over the weekend here so far.
And this seems to be one as well. He's asking for it to get down. And just takes a skip long outside the circle. If that got down, a few feet sooner, he probably would have stuck. Might have looked something like that.
Yeah, that's great.
It was really just a few feet shorter and really took the skip out of it. Kept it close.
All right, that needs to stable up now. Oh ho, and it does.
That's parked. It's going to be a 4-under front 9 for Alan.
That got released out a little left than I think he wanted. And with the stability there.
Yeah, it might have been a shot where he was trying to be a little farther right with a little more flex. And,
Yeah.
And then he just
That's what I
came
was
out
assuming.
left and flat instead.
Yeah, so that it would dump towards. Oh, wow.
Uphill 35-footer, no problem.
The steppers are kind of locked in today.
Yeah. Brock's keeping pace.
Let's not glaze over this, that's another turkey that James got.
Yeah. He's doing well out here so far. And Adam tapping in his par to round out the front 9 here.
A lot of gray there, so we need to see some activity coming out of Adam. Let's take a quick look at these front 9 scores. Brock being blemish-free so far. Only one each for everyone else.
Yeah, not a lot of bogeys. People are out here trying to win. James and Brock battling there.
Well, special thanks to Homewood Suites by Hilton here in Brighton for supporting this event of ours and the coverage. And a shout out to all of you who are watching. If you'd like to help support the coverage, head on over to patreon.com/gatekeepermedia, and we will catch you on the back 9 here for the final round of the 2025 US AM Championship.
See you there.